Sometimes people ask me, like, what's your most important equipment in working with spirit? Want to find out the answer? Keep watching this video. Podcast for this paranormal exposure show that I'm involved in. And the showrunner, whose name is Carmen Shreve, she's super cool. You can check her out on Instagram and Facebook. And she asked all of us sort of to introduce ourselves, and then she asked the question, what is your most important piece of equipment that you take with you on a paranormal investigation? And, people were talking about things like safety equipment, paranormal detection equipment, spirit boxes or EMF readers or, carbon dioxide sensors or whatever those things were. So then it came to me and I said, well, the most important thing that I always bring with me is ginger tea and honey and lemon cough drops. And there was kind of a silence. I was like, oh, really? And it wasn't that people were laughing at me or nobody said anything really. It was just sort of that my answer was really different from what everybody else had been talking about, because everybody else had been talking about sort of external equipment. Right. And I think my answer, which is very clearly that I was thinking about internal equipment, was just different. Because, and this is the important part, when you're working with spirit, when you're on an investigation, if you're, working with the paranormal and you think you might encounter, especially any sort of negative spirits, although honestly, I think it's always possible to encounter negative spirits. In my experience, even in my prayers or meditations, I sometimes come up with entities that are not so positive. And this is the important part. You are your own best weapon. You are the part of you that is gonna make the right decisions or make the wrong decisions. You're the part that's gonna sense danger and get the hell out of there. You're the part that's gonna be able to be like, I don't really think the spirit I'm talking to has my best interests at heart. I think I'm gonna nope on out of this, right? I'm gonna say no thank you to the spirit and just be like, end the session. I don't wanna talk to the spirit anymore. You are the one that has to stay strong if something scary happens. You are the one that has to make level-headed decisions. You are the one that has to be able to say, get the F out of here. I'm getting rid of this spirit. This spirit is negative and should not be able to stay in this space. So I feel like as much as it's great to have, extra equipment with you, and that's important and good, and definitely stay safe and, wear comfortable shoes, all that kind of stuff. The most important thing you have to do is really be in good condition yourself. And I developed this philosophy when we lived in Europe for 6 months. And we were in Paris, and I would go walking in the city for hours. Now, I speak some French, but not enough French to if there's an emergency situation, I'm not going to be able to communicate with random people. And I didn't want to, spend a lot of money and stop in coffee shops. And I really had to load up. It was the summer. I had to load up with water. I had to bring a snack. I had to make sure I had everything with me. If the temperature changed, if the sun went down, it got cold. I was really thinking about my Paleolithic self. We sort of take it for granted that in most places you can stop at a gas station and refuel and, get yourself a snack. And back in the day, there was you. And if you were out there by yourself picking berries or orienteering or pathfinding, that was you, right? And then maybe you had a couple people with you, and all the resources you had were what you could carry or what you knew how to find in your immediate environment. And so that was really true up until the 1920s, in large parts, at least of the United States, that people were very self-dependent. And the number one thing you had to do was not have access to a bunch of technology and a billion types of equipment. It was to be healthy, to stay strong, to use your common sense, to be aware of danger, and to rely on your own skill set to keep you safe. And I really think that's the foundation of working with spirit, paranormal investigations, whatever it is that you're doing. You know, spirit is like people. Some people are great and they have your best interests at heart and they're super trustworthy, and other people not so much. I had a rocky road to developing discernment and learning what spirits to listen to and what not to. So if you want to hear more about that, let me know and I can record some more.